Hey everybody, Adam here for True North Wilds. I'm doing the March unboxing of my Lucky Tackle Box. I'm doing something a little bit new and different this time with Lucky Tackle Box. I am going for the Walleye box from Lucky Tackle Box. LuckyTackleBox.com if you want to check them out. I'll put the link down here somewhere. They have a variety of species. I have so far mostly gotten the bass box. All through last summer, it was pretty much all the bass box. Got a couple of the multi-species boxes, which was mainly by accident, so I had mixed feelings about that, but they were pretty decent. And then over winter, I got a few ice fishing boxes. They were terrible. If you want an example of how not to do an ice fishing box, go watch those videos that I did put up. I ended up not putting up unboxing videos for a couple of the ice fishing boxes that I got because they were just bad. So I'm hoping that the walleye box will be a little bit better and more towards the quality of the bass box that I had been getting previously, but we'll find out. I'm hoping that they compare somewhat to the mystery tackle box walleye box that I get. I know it's going to be a little bit of a smaller box, but let's dive in and find out and see how Lucky Tackle Box handles walleye. While I'm opening this up, don't forget, if you're not already, you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TrueNorthWilds, Instagram @TrueNorthWilds, and of course our blog site. If you like to read, I like to write, TrueNorthWilds.com. Diving into this box, of course, we always got the paper wrap, which is nice. Makes it feel like Christmas, like you're opening a present. So looking at the box, I got the paper and everything out of the way. It looks pretty full. I'm seeing a few things in here just at first glance that I'm not liking, but let's see what we got here. We have pre-rigged and ready to go Logic Lures. That's a brand I've never seen before, so that's encouraging. Scented tandem rig 4-inch in chartreuse color. It says it's a weedless setup, so this is pretty neat. Pre-rigged, weedless, reusable rig. Let's see what's going on with this. What exactly it is pre-rigged for. Ooh, that's got a smell to it. It's not an unpleasant smell, but boy, is that strong. That hit me as soon as I opened up the plastic. It doesn't say anything about this. Oh, it does say scented, but it doesn't say anything about what the scent is, but wow. Oh, I can't even describe that. It smells almost fruity, actually. So I see that these are obviously pre-rigged. It's got sort of looks like a Texas style. It's got, you know, the weights there, and then they're both weedless, hooked with wide gap hooks, and the plastic themselves are pretty neat. You know, they feel like a beefy plastic. You can feel that scent coating on there. They got a neat flat tail, which is likely to have a lot of good action in the water. They're a nice color. The green sparkles in there and sort of the light chartreuse color of the tail. It's a little bit more of an orange color along the eyes, but let's see if I can figure out exactly what sort of rig we're looking at here. I definitely have not gotten anything like this before, so bear with me as I unravel it. Okay, so this would be off to your main line, and this would be obviously at the bottom with the weight. So you'd have this tied up to your main line. This would be dragging down a little bit lower, and then the top one would be dragging. So you basically just got two bait plastics. It's a cool system. It's a cool idea. I like that it comes and it's all just ready to go. This, oh, it's got a bit, the line has a bit of memory in it, as you can see. It's on a nice long lead, so I could shorten that if I wanted to shorten it. I could cinch up the two plastics together, or I could leave it as is. So this would obviously be something that you cast and retrieve, or more likely, this would be something that you troll. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's interesting. I haven't gotten anything like this pre-rigged before. I like it. I think I'll use this for walleye. I think that'll be a great walleye lure, especially trolling. Trolling, this is probably going to shine. And that scent is something else. Next up, we have the Forage Minnow Jig Spin from Northland Tackle. It says great for walleye, bass, pike, and perch. I'll be honest, I've never caught a walleye on a spinner style like this. Bass, pike, absolutely. Let's open this up and I'll show you. All right, so I got this open. You can see it's this sort of spinner style of lure. It's got the small little blade here on the one end, and it's got the jig head. It's a fairly small hook. It's a fairly small spinner overall. Doesn't have any extra skirting. Doesn't have anything extra going on there. So you'd have to put a plastic trailer of some sort or some sort of bait on this for it to be effective. Nothing's really just going to go after just a bare jig in general. And like I said, I got nothing but respect for Northland tackle. This is not going to work for walleye around here anyway. I've never seen a walleye caught on a spinner like this. If you have, let me know in the comments. It might be popular somewhere, or it might work in some places. Not around here. Although it does say on the package there that it's a walleye lure, so I can't really blame Lucky Tackle Box too much for that. But yeah, it's going to be something that I probably don't use. We got some basic hooks. It's always nice to get some terminal tackle. It's a good sized package, 10 pieces, must-add hooks, nice basic J hooks, nothing wrong with that. Big 'Un Baits, another brand I am not familiar with. It says it's LTB exclusive. Usually they mean the color in that case. So this is a neat little, again, a spinner style of lure, a different type of spinner. This is interesting. Again, it's on the small side, so definitely smallmouth bass. Small pike will go after this for sure. This would be very much a trout lure around here. I'd have a hard time catching walleye on this. I might be able to get walleye to bite into something like this, but it would be difficult. There would be a lot better options to throw for walleye than this style of spinner. But as far as the spinner itself, I like this tube on the end, this sort of a tube jig built over the treble hook. The blade on it's nice. It's a nice flashy color. The gold bead's nice and flashy. Overall, it's a nice spinner. Like I said, I'll definitely take this for smallmouth bass, some trout probably, and small pike. But I wouldn't throw this out for walleye. So some plastics. It's hard to go wrong with plastics. Smart baits, plastic color changing baits. The Mighty Minnow is what this one is, and of course everybody knows how I feel about the color changing. I think it's gimmicky, and I don't really care too much about the color changing part of it, but the plastics themselves, as I always say, are really nice. This is a nice sort of minnow shape. It's got the flat fork tail. It's a nice color. It's a very light sort of color. I'm not sure what it's supposed to change to. It's supposed to change to a red, a darker red. See if I can. So I can't really do that. I'll have to go apply some heat to it and see what happens, but I always evaluate it based on the color that it is out of the package. In this case, it's sort of a chartreusey with a splash of orange through it. Not a bad color. Their plastics, like I said, are pretty good. So overall, nothing wrong with that. I can throw this out and I'll catch walleye on this for sure. Up next, we have a lure from the Bass Brothers, another brand that I've never heard of. So doing good in that regard of new brands. This one is called the Bootlegger. And it has a little story on the back here, I'm sure, which will explain that name. But the lure itself, so this is actually really nice. This is a lipless crank, and you might be able to hear it already, but it's got a fairly high-pitched rattle in there, a fairly aggressive, high-pitched rattle. The colors on this are really nice. It's a nice green color with the white belly. Going from sort of a realistic look, not super realistic, but more of that natural sort of color and that natural sort of pattern. Really nice paint job on it. Lipless cranks, great all-around lure. They're great for bass, pike, and they are good for walleye. So this will definitely be something I can use to catch walleye. It looks like good quality, like I said, nice profile on it. So all around, that's a good lure, and that's a good lure for walleye. Last but hopefully not least, the Big Mouth Baits. Again, another brand I haven't heard of, so kudos, Lucky Tackle Box, as far as new brands that I haven't seen. I like that. This is called, the Iggy Pop. So the Big Mouth Baits Iggy Pop. And I'm not sure what's going on with this thing. This is an interesting looking lure. It looks like a popper. I hope it's not a popper. Doesn't really have any information on the package, but it's got the mouth, the shape like a popper. It's got 2 eyelets, so I assume you can adjust, based on where you hook up, you can adjust the angle that it pops into the water at. It's got this sort of a rudder thing at the front. It's got a nice color, no rattle in it. You can see some ball bearings in there, but it looks like that's just for weight. The color is sort of, again, that natural green pattern. It's nice coloring. It's a nice looking plastic. It's a nice shape for a popper. Hooks on it are good and all that stuff, but the one problem with this is that poppers do not work for walleye around here. So this is just another, again, it's a nice lure. It's not a walleye lure. So that's I've never seen a walleye caught on a popper around here. Maybe it happens. Again, if it happens around you, let me know. I'm curious to know if people catch walleye on these types of lures. When I say, oh, it's not a walleye lure, I'm curious to know if people do catch on those lures and where you are that the walleye will go after that. Around here, walleye will never go after something like this. So I'll use this definitely for bass and pike going into the spring, but not a walleye lure, like I said. So that's the last I have to say on that. That's the box. That's the March walleye box from Lucky Tackle Box. Of course, you got your literature. You know, there's the magazine, the Fish Hound magazine. It's usually some interesting stuff, some articles, some tips, things like that in there. What's in the box? Card. So it lists everything that's in the box. Retail values, that sort of stuff. All in all, not a bad box. It's certainly not as bad as the ice fishing boxes were. I'll give them that. I really like the variety of brand names. I like the fact that a good chunk of these are brand names that I've never seen before. I always enjoy trying out new brands. So that's a big plus for this box. The walleye theme, I think the jury's still out on that. I'll have to see how the next couple boxes go. If I keep getting a bunch of lures that aren't really walleye appropriate, or at least for me, then I'll sort of have to assess that you know, over a couple months. I don't want to judge it just on the one box too much, but this box was a bit of a miss as far as being walleye lures, but overall everything was decent quality, and the brand names, like I said, they look really good. The quality on these new brands, it looks decent, so I'm looking forward to trying them. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and again, if you think that this is all appropriate walleye gear, definitely let me know in the comments. And where you're fishing, because I'm always curious about, you know, different fish habits and different fishing tackle and stuff in different areas. So that really interests me. So be sure and tell me about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe down there. It helps me out for the channel a lot. If you're not already, don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TrueNorthWilds, on Instagram @TrueNorthWilds, and our blog site. If you like to read, I like to write. Wild fishing game recipes, gear reviews, blog posts, information stuff. Like I just put out one, you know, for fishing for spring pike. I did an ice fishing one. I do trip reports for all my camping trips and canoe trips and stuff like that. So definitely check that out if you like to read. It's truenorthwilds.com, of course. And as usual, thanks for watching. And until next time, I will see you outside.